In this video, I will show you how to use the Klein Tools cl700 multimeter and clamp. This multimeter will show AC current via the clamp. This multimeter, of course, can read AC as well as DC voltage and resistance and continuity via the test leads. It also comes with a thermocouple that can be used to read temperature. This could be useful for HVAC guys for air temperature out of an AC. Electricians might use this for measuring temperature of a transformer. So starting with the most basic function, we can come over to an outlet here and just flip it on to the first voltage level and click on this NCV button and just hold it down, and as we put it to the outlet, it should stay red. That means we have an operational outlet. Alright, so for this next part, we're going to be reading a voltage here with our leads connected. You're just going to turn it on to the voltage setting. Make sure it's in AC, which would be that squiggly line, or that for DC. And we're going to slot in our neutral lead in first. Make sure we plug that in first as opposed to the hot lead, because if we plug in the hot lead first, this neutral lead will become energized and increase the risk of electrocution, so we don't want that. Alright, so we have our multimeter here. Just gonna light that up so you can get a better look. Oops, hold up. Plugging in our neutral lead first into the wider or longer hole there. And then we're gonna slip that in there. As you can see, voltage 126. And so if we wanted to read a DC power source, like this battery over here, we would simply switch it to the, use the same voltage setting, but we'd switch it to that orange symbol. But even more importantly, we would use these alligator clips, because they are rated at, it's hard to read, they're rated at Cat 4, whereas our normal leads are only rated at Cat 2. Right, so I was going to show off this clamp function, but I've just been looking around the lights in my house and couldn't find any just lone wire hanging out by itself. We got some NMD wire there, which, as we know, actually has 3 or 4 wires in it. And the problem with that is that the wires actually cancel each other out, so we won't get a reading on here. So that's why I would need just a single lonesome wire hanging out to clamp that around to read it. What we could use is a line splitter, which basically corrects that, and then we would get a reading. But I actually don't have one of those in my kit, so yeah. But it'd be pretty simple. We just switch it to voltage and then just clamp there, get a reading. So for the last multimeter function, I guess you could say, I'm going to be showing how to read the continuity as well as resistance. I'm just going to flip it on that middle mode. Have a LED diode and a resistor set up on this breadboard. So we're going to start with the diode, which is shown by this symbol. So getting our leads on this LED will show the voltage, as well as it'll light up nice for us, so we know that it's working. And then as for the resistance mode, we're gonna flip it there, resistance, the continuity symbol. Got our leads on there, and we're shown a resistance as opposed to OL, so we know that this is working. And if you look at our card here, we have yep, so that's the same. So alright, and last but not least, we're going to be showing the thermocouple. So this actually comes with a thermocouple, K-type thermocouple. So just plug it in. And once it's plugged in, we're just going to switch it to that Fahrenheit Celsius. And then so right now the thermocouple is just reading air temperature in Fahrenheit. We want that in Celsius. Yep, so 24/7. Alright, and so when we put it in this ice water, it shows us our temperature of 4.8 degrees. And that is in Celsius. It's going up. As we immerse it, it'll go back down. Those are pretty much all the functions of this Klein tool multimeter. It's also a RMS, which means it reads more accurately than the cheaper type. I'll have it on screen. Forget the name. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good multimeter.